Welcome everyone, this is Mike from Lake Effect Games, bringing you the Week 16 Table Football League doubleheader, played on Al Wilson's Fast Drive Football. Our doubleheader this week, a rematch from last week. There are two of those actually, but only one being broadcast because part one of Phoenix and Roswell was last week. Televised, and I didn't want to do the same game twice in a row. I know I did that already once this year. But last week, San Diego faced Salt Lake in San Diego, and the Silverbacks gave them a thrashing. So the Mustangs, tie record with them, are looking for some revenge. And our second game is the also 7-8 Anchorage Bears against the 9-6 Dakota Devils. A few teams have made playoffs this week. We'll get into that during the in between games. As always, halftime of the first game will be the Week 16 scores. In between the games, we'll go over standings and current playoff clinches. And halftime of Game 2, the Week 17 matchups. Give me 2 seconds. Okay. Halftime of the second game, we'll go over the Week 17 matchups, including the two that we will go over, the two that will be broadcast next week. I had to make a change this week and put in San Diego and Salt Lake because I didn't want to broadcast a game or a team 2 weeks in a row again. And one of the games next week is going to definitely need to be broadcast. So let's see. This is played on Al Wilson's Fast Drive Football version 1. I am currently waiting on version 2. So 2026 will be played on version 2. So coin toss, and the Mustangs will get the ball first. And average field position to start us off. So the Mustangs offense is semi-prolific, dynamic, solid, and semi-clumsy. The Silverbacks defense is semi-punishing and disciplined. Neither team has any kind of electric. So let's get going. This is Casey Halpern at quarterback for the Mustangs. 4-4-5. Erratic offense, no. Disciplined defense, yes. Defense bends but doesn't break. That is going to be a corner punt with 3 ticks off the clock. So not quite what they wanted for a first drive, but it's going to be at least good defensively to keep the Silverbacks back a bit. 42 for a corner punt. I believe that is actually poor field position. Yes. So San Diego will start deep in their own. And the San Diego offense is semi-efficient and semi-undisciplined. And the Mustangs defense is semi-make. 5-6-6. Poor, shaky offense. Sorry, 5-5-6 is poor position. 5-6-6, shaky offense. No. Staunch defense, no. So that is a touchdown pass for the Silverbacks. So let's get some clock marked. Sorry for that chirping. That is actually... There we go. All right, so touchdown pass. That is Williams at quarterback to 43. Raheem Sadra. Kick, needs 65 and under, is good. So even with the poor start, the Silverbacks get the first. They draw first blood with their first. With their first possession. All right, average field position for Salt Lake. Only 2 weeks left. Only 2 weeks left of the regular season after this one. So 1-5-6. Poor field position, no. Great field position, no. So that is a punt. Two and a half left in the first quarter. Punter Guillermo Sandoval. And average field position for the Silverbacks. Two, 3, 5. That's a pick. So, wow. From up to down. So the black and white will tell us the man who caught the ball, and the red one will tell us where they're starting. Oh, poor field position. Again. Well, first time for Salt Lake. 33, that is Josh Holt. And at the end of the first quarter, the score is the San Diego Silverbacks 7 and the Salt Lake Mustangs nothing. One, two, three. Poor field position, yes. Third down pass is forced into coverage and incomplete. And so the Mustangs will be forced to kick it away again. .62, that's great field position for San Diego. Two, 3, 6. Happy that wasn't a 5 again, isn't he? All right, 2, 3, 6. Prolific offense. No, wrong team. Porous offense, no. So that is a punt. And now Justin Hammond will come out for the first time. the Silverbacks kick it away. 42. That is average field position for Salt Lake. (136). Prolific offense. Yes, the marker says. Defensive back bites on the pump fake. Wide receiver is wide open. Touchdown, Mustangs. So that is a TD pass. Took a whole 4 pips. So that is Halpern to Grant. Finds him in the end zone. All alone. 62 and under for the extra point. And he's got it. So we are tied at 7. As of now, both these teams, I think, are actually still within the realm of possibility for a division win. Which, when you look at average field position for San Diego, when you look at a team like, or when you look at the East, where they wouldn't be catching up to San Diego or even Buffalo or even Boston at this point. Well, maybe Boston. 256. You gotta look at those records later. And we will. Great field position, no. Home or disciplined offense, San Diego, no to either. So that is a punt. So they look great in the very start, but then they've been falling apart since. Okay. That is great field position for Salt Lake. But 1 pip left of the half. And that's it. And at halftime, the score is 7-7. Now to go over the first half of the week scores. In the East, DC over Baltimore, 31-26. Cleveland over Charleston, 27-20. Buffalo narrowly escapes Boston, 17-15. And Jersey City over Halifax, 28-13. In the Central, Birmingham over Lexington, 34-14. Lexington has been falling. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. They were in the lead of the division, and they've lost 4 in a row. And I don't think they're anywhere near the lead anymore. Nashville over St. Louis, 34-17. Oklahoma over New Orleans with the first shutout since, I want to say, week 3. No, since week 5. With a score of 10-0. So Oklahoma finally getting a win. It's been a while. In the West, Memphis over San Antonio, 28-24. And I believe Memphis now leads the division, leads the Central Division, and holds that second bye week. And the other 2 games in the West, Roswell gets their revenge over Phoenix, 33-31 in overtime. And also, the other game also went to overtime. with the Los Angeles Icons over the Las Vegas Blackjacks 29-27. So 2 high-scoring games in the West, and both going to overtime. And that is where we leave things as far as the scores this week. So going into the third quarter at halftime, the score is 7-7. And San Diego will get the ball first in average field position. Two, 3, 4. Let's see. Dull offense, no. Staunch defense, no. And that is a touchdown pass, so San Diego starts the second half the way they started the first, except this time it is the start, not just, their first possession. 2 pips and a touchdown pass. So that is Williams 2, 43. That is Sauter again. And they connect for the second time. And the extra point is good. And they now lead 14-7. Last week, the game between these two ended, let's see, San Diego over Salt Lake 33-13. Average field position for Salt Lake. St. Louis was last week. 146. Staunch defense. San Diego does not have that. Ball carrier stiff arms a linebacker and sprints to the end zone. Touchdown run for the Mustangs. And let's see who got that. That is Darius Collins. Extra point to tie it up for Scott Ray. And he does. So we are at 14 apiece. Average field position on the kickoff for the Silverbacks. Three, 5, 6. Disciplined offense. No. Reliable offense or meek defense. No and no. So that is an interception. So that is Williams' second pick. So let's see. 21, that's Jerron Hopper. And another poor position start off the interception. One, 2, 5. Solid offense, yes. Good protection gives quarterback time to get rid of the ball. So that is a corner punt. .46, that is 46, that is average. let's see, we are closing in on the end of the third quarter. 2-3-3. Solid offense, no. Mild defense, no. And that's another interception. Let's see what's going on with this one. So 15, that's Hopper again, and this one will be an average field position. That is Williams' third pick of the day. 3-5-6, so this will go into the fourth quarter. Disciplined offense, no. Reliable offense or meek defense, no and no. And that's going to be intercepted, but not until the fourth quarter. At the end of the third, the score is 14-14. That is Halpern's first pick of the day. Let's see, 16, that is Scotty Frazier. And that is in great field position. Three, 4-4. Mild or undisciplined defense? No. Defense comes through with a big stop when it was needed. That's going to be a corner punt. Don't know what happened there. All right. Okay. So Justin Hammond to boot it away. 35. That is poor field position. For the Salt Lake Mustangs. 3-5-6. So this is going to take a chunk out of the final quarter. Disciplined offense, not Salt Lake. Reliable offense or meek defense? No, and this is their second straight pick. So nobody wants to keep the ball. Yeah. That is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the 5th interception overall today. Must be raining, but I never checked for rain. Maybe next year I'll start using the weather. All right. 36, that is Kim Lash. And great field position for San Diego. And that's how we're going to end the game. That is, yeah. 666, that is an automatic, impressive 5-minute drive, ends with a plunge across the goal line. That is a touchdown run, and with only 4 pips left, that is the end of the game. So, touchdown run for 51, that is Ian Warner. And the extra point, not that it's all that necessary, but stats. Patterson with the extra point, and our final score is San Diego 21, Salt Lake 14. So that was a crazy finish. So let me mark that real quick. Not a great end for Salt Lake. They were getting the turnovers for a while, then they started giving them away. 21-14. Let me just... Salt Lake, or... San Diego. Okay, so the standings are as follows. In the East, the DC Majors are 14-2, the Buffalo Outlaws are 13-3, and the Boston Banshees are 9-7. Jersey City Wise Guys and Cleveland Coyotes are both 7-9. Jersey City with a 7-6. With a 7-6 divisional record. Cleveland with a 5-8. The Charleston Minutemen and Baltimore Marauders are both 6-10. Charleston with a 5-8, and Baltimore with a 4-9. And finally, the Halifax Ice Dogs are 2-14. DC, Buffalo, and Boston have clinched playoff berth. And DC will be playing Buffalo next week as one of our broadcast games. In the Central, the Memphis Kings are at 10-6. The Oklahoma Warhogs, Nashville Jacks, and Lexington Cavalry are all at 9-7, all at 8-5. But Oklahoma has the lead over the other two in terms of head-to-head. The St. Louis Archers are 8-8. The Birmingham Red Tails are 6-10. And the San Antonio Marshals and New Orleans Swamp Crocs are both 5-11. San Antonio with a 5-8, and New Orleans with a 4-9. Memphis, Oklahoma, Nashville, and Lexington have all clinched playoff berth. Technically, they clinched the 9-7s clinch playoff berth with Salt Lake's loss, but they would have clinched it regardless if it was Salt Lake or San Diego, so I already gave them the X. And finally, in the West, which there's still one game left to decide, the Los Angeles Icons are 11-5, the Phoenix Howlers 10-6, the Dakota Devils 9-6. They are one of the teams playing in a bit. The Roswell Destroyers are 9-7. The San Diego Silverbacks are 8-8. The Anchorage Bears are 7-8. The Salt Lake Mustangs are 7-9. And the Las Vegas Blackjacks are 5-11. The Los Angeles Icons, Phoenix Howlers, and Dakota Devils have clinched playoff berth. So, I believe Roswell could clinch playoff berth with an Anchorage loss. So that is the standings. And give me a second to set up for game 2. So, all right. Welcome to Game 2 of our doubleheader. It is the 9-6 Dakota Devils hosting the 7-8 Anchorage Bears. Hello, Mintons. At halftime, we will go over the Week 17 matchups, which is the last week of divisional matchups. Week 18 will be interdivision. So, coin flip. And it's Dakota getting the ball first. They haven't had a great season, but it's been good enough to get them playoffs already. So, all right. That is average field position for the Devils. Dakota offense, prolific, clumsy, and semi-inefficient. And the Anchorage Bears defense is semi-staunch and aggressive. Not very often you see a team with both dull and staunch, or prolific and inept. But here we are. Some teams just have really good offenses and really bad defenses. Or the other way around. 3-4-5. Dynamic or home offense? Yes. So that is a field goal attempt to start us off. And that is Mark Dunton, who needs a 63 or under. And he's got it. So Dunton is 1 for 1. There were no field goals in that last game. So 3-0 Dakota Devils. I am going to... Okay, that is poor field position on a kickoff. Returner muffs the catch and is caught before he can get upfield. Poor field position. So he dropped it, picked it back up immediately, but didn't have time to do anything else. So what I'm going to be doing with next year is I'm going to be changing the format to the video game league I've been using for the last 8 years on my other page. And it's going to be 4 6-team divisions. And there won't be this whole cross playoffs thing. It'll be top 3 teams. I'll explain in a bit. Anchorage offense, semi-dull, semi-dynamic, semi-shaky, and Dakota defense is simply undisciplined. Also, the Anchorage Bears have a semi-electric kick return. We'll see if that comes into play at any point. 4-5-6. Season prior to 1987? No. Dull offense? No. So, thankfully for that, lack of pip, that is a touchdown run for the Bears. And they are in the lead. What one was that? Was that a run? That was a run. And that is 62. That is the quarterback, Danny Robinson, dialing his own number. And Jamie Kelly with the extra point, 64 and under, and just gets it. Well, not just, a couple numbers off, but anyway, he got it. So it's now 7-3 Anchorage. And that win may make, and if they end up winning this, that'll stop, they'll stop Roswell for a bit longer. All right. 64, that is average. Oh, hold on. $245. 245. That's the one you kind of re-roll it, don't I? Dynamic offense or soft defense? No and no, so I don't have to do that. Porous offense. So that is a corner punt. I wouldn't mind it so much if I was smart enough to use a college rule notebook, but I use a wide rule notebook, so it takes an extra line. But poor field position again for Anchorage, but that didn't seem to bother them last time. 2-3-4. Dull offense, yes, this time. So the ball carrier is unable to find a hole on third down, so they're going to have to kick it away. With 2:30 remaining in the first quarter. Average field position for Dakota. One, 2, 4. Season prior, no. Great field position, no. So that is a punt. And 46, that is average field position for the Bears for the first time today as we go into the second quarter. With the score, the Bears 7, the Devils 3. Two, 5, 6. Great field position, no. Home or disciplined offense, no. So that will be a punt. And Braden Puhala is going to have to punt it away. 62, that's great field position for Dakota. And it's intercepted. Let's see, 54. That is Felecia. And I'm going to have to roll that again because 4, 5, or 6 is a touchdown. Otherwise, it's great. And it's great field position for Anchorage. So that was Justin Felecia. And 1, 2, 6. Reliable offense or meek defense. No and no. Shaky offense or aggressive defense. They are not shaky. So 1, 2, 6. That's a punt. So they get nothing out of it anyway. And it's actually by some kind of miracle that The Bears aren't up by more at this point. 61, I believe that is average. I don't think that's great yet. Yeah, that's average. Great starts at 62 on a regular punt. Excuse me 1 second. Excuse me. What do you think you're doing, little one? What do you think you're getting into, huh? Alright, down you go, kitty. Sorry, that is Mittens the troublemaker again. He is the nicest cat in the world, though. He will reach up and grab your hand and pull it down for pets. Alright, triple twos. So that is table B as its average field position. $13. Quarterback under pressure. Heaves a desperation pass, and it's caught. Touchdown, Dakota. And they are in the lead. Murray just fires one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. And that is Murray to Green Lake. And 63 and under for extra point, and it is good. So score is now 10-7. $34, that's average field position for Anchorage, who now need to fight back. Down by 3. 3-3-6. Staunch defense, no. Stiff defense, no. And they do. That's a touchdown pass for the Bears. That's Robinson, who now has one both for a pass and for a rush. Robinson to, let's see, 46. Whitaker. It's up and it's good. So the Bears immediately back in the lead, 14-10. The Devils have yet to hold the lead past a drive. 2, 6, 8, 10, 12, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay. All right, average field position for the Devils. And that's going to be it for the quarter. That's going to be it for the half. Wait, are they efficient? No, they're inefficient. They're semi-inefficient, actually. So, half. And at the end of the half, it is the Anchorage Bears, 14, with the lead over the Dakota Devils, as they have 10. So, the Week 17 schedule. Charleston Minutemen at the Boston Banshees. The Jersey City Wise Guys and the Halifax Ice Dogs. The Cleveland Coyotes and the Baltimore Marauders. In the Central, the Oklahoma Warhogs and the San Antonio Marshals. New Orleans Swamp Crocs and the Birmingham the Birmingham Red Tails. And the St. Louis Archers at the Lexington Cavalry. In the West, the Los Angeles Icons at the Phoenix Howlers. The Dakota Devils at the Salt Lake Mustangs. And the Mustangs are 7-9. I gotta mark that. The Anchorage Bears at the San Diego Silverbacks. And the Roswell Destroyers at the Las Vegas Blackjacks. And our two televised games are, first, the Tennessee rivalry. Not too many states have more than one team. I'd say California and Tennessee, and I think that's it. So, the second battle for Tennessee, Memphis at Nashville. Memphis won the first one. And the second one, DC at Buffalo. As DC won their first match by 3. So, Buffalo needs to win by 3. Otherwise, hold on. To even have a chance. All right, so Anchorage to get the ball first at the second half, and they will get average field position. So they hold on to this 14-10 lead. 1-3-4. Poor field position, no. Inept defense, no. So a field goal attempt for Jamie Kelly. .62 and under. And he's got it. So the score is now 17-10. Yeah. Oh, mark off. Okay. Dakota has average field position. 4-6-6. It might be able to tie it up. Staunch defense. Yes. So no, they're not going to tie it up. Receivers are blanketed and third down pass falls incomplete. They will have to punt. I know 4-6-6 being one of those, only have one thing to go through and it's a score. But it was the one thing that they couldn't go through. All right. 41, that is average field position for Anchorage. 3-3-4. Solid offense, no. Mild or undisciplined defense, yes. So that is a corner punt. .65, that's great field position for Dakota. Let's see if they can do anything with it. 3-5-5. Prolific offense, yes. He's through the hole and nobody's going to catch him. Touchdown, Devils. And that is Will Lynch busting through the goal line. And the extra point is good. All right. Oh, 17-17. We are tied. Oh, the red one doesn't count because I, messed that up, and that's just a kickoff. So, average field position for Anchorage. .455. Dull offense, no. The quarterback lunges across the goal line for the score. Touchdown, Bears. And once again, the Devils defense doesn't let them hold anything for more than one possession. Touchdown run by Cade Warfield. Oh, yeah? Extra point is good. So it's now 24-17. At the end of the third quarter. So 24-17. Average field position for Dakota. One, two, three. I know that is unless it's great field position, it's a punt. So let's see. Poor field position, great field position. Yep, it's a punt. And now time is against them, trying to stop this upset from happening. That's poor field position for Anchorage. Yep, great punt and beneficial roll into deep territory. Two, 5, 6. Great field position? No. Home or disciplined offense? No. So that is a punt. .53, that is once again average for Dakota. Oh, crap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. 1, 2, 2. Home defense or undisciplined offense? No and no. Stiff defense? No. So that is a field goal attempt. For Dunton. Let's see if he can get this. And he's got it. Good thing those dice weren't switched, because that would have been a no. Dunton is 2 for 2. And the lead, they are now down by 4. All right, average field position for the Bears. As we are halfway through the fourth quarter. 1, 5, 6. Poor field position, no. Great field position, no. So a punt. And we are down to the final 5 minutes. 36, that is average for Dakota. All right. Are they inefficient? Yes, they are. So anything higher than a 2, and they need to go desperation. Okay, 2-5-6. No. So great field position, no. Home or disciplined offense, that's a field goal, but a field goal is not going to do it for them. So they're going to have to go for desperation. And at average, if the total of the dice is 6, okay. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If it was great, they could have gotten it, but no. That is not going to work. And the desperation fail. And the game is over. And the only team with a winning record in this doubleheader falls. They still have a winning record, but the final score is the Anchorage Bears 24, the Dakota Devils 20. And that's it for week 16. We've got 2 weeks left of regular season play before we get to our postseason. Who's going to go? Who's not? As far as the remaining positions, we'll find out within the next 2 weeks. This has been Table Football League, Al Wilson's Fast Drive Football version 1. I'm Mike from Lake Effect Games. I need 5 more subscribers in order to be able to go live, and I would love to go live for the Table Football League champion for the 3rd table. So it'd be awesome. But enjoy gaming, enjoy games. That's why we have them. Till next time.